Okay, people, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's been a while. I've been working hard. It's tax season for me. I do taxes for a living. This is kind of what I do on the side here. Just a quick little intro. Yahtzee is not the only game I play. It's actually was a little side quest in my life. My main and only one true love is actually Pokemon, and I entered a tournament for Gen 3 OU, which is also known as Fire Red, Leaf Green, Emerald, Ruby, and Sapphire. That's Generation 3. And I actually, this is the first tournament. This is the second tournament I've entered, with the first one where I actually won a few games. So I want to just kind of go through my replays, just kind of talk through a few turns. My opponent here is Hydreigon greater than Latios. He's a decently well-known player. He plays a lot of current gen, so he used to play up until about Gen 7. He plays lower tiers, so he doesn't play OU or like the main tier for many gens, but he's a good player in his own right. So I was a little nervous because I'm a nobody in this like scene. I actually just recently got into ADV recently, so I was kind of like, damn, I know this guy, so I might be in trouble. This is the first game we play. Oh boy. All right. I lead a Smeargle and he leads a Zapdos. So I was just kind of banking that this wasn't max attack Zapdos, because all I really know about Hydreigon Latios is that he likes to run TSS, which is also known as the meta. So I thought I could bring an anti-meta team to start to see if I could throw him off his rhythm. And so he Thunderbolts me turn 1. I get Parrot and I cure from my Lumberry, which is, I guess, the item I have on this guy. And then I Spore him. I put him to sleep. So afterwards, he switches into Aerodactyl, and I get up my first layer of spikes. This is the entire point of my team, is I'm supposed to set up spikes. He rock slides me in return, knocking my Smeargle out, which that's how Smeargle runs. The lead is literally just to put one to sleep, set a spike up, and die. You can trade sometimes. I have Explosion and Destiny Bond on this set. So if he would have brought in something slower, I would have traded 2 for 1, which would have been crazy, but he was smart and brought in a faster Pokemon. So then what do I bring in return? I bring in my Tyranitar. He's got rock on rock, like not great, because he's locked in the rock side almost certainly. There's no way he's not banded. So I just go ahead and Dragon Dance right away, just to get ahead on my opponent. So looking in the face of this defensive Swampert, I assume, I just Earthquake here, just to kind of gauge damage. It does 51% and he heals. So if he takes another one, obviously he pumps me for 80-something%. So if he heals here, like, I have to knock him out, basically. But he makes a good move and pivots to Skarmory, expecting an Earthquake. So my two options was I was expecting either a Protect or a Switch. So I actually predicted the Skarmory and Dragon Danced again. So now I'm +2/+2 on my Tyranitar, which, that's pretty scary. He's looking at pretty much a defeat here. I'm bulky, though, so I'm slow. So actually, I get outsped by Aerodactyl, as you'll see later. But I hit Rock Slide on the Skarmory. The crit didn't matter. It actually does take out Skarm at +2. So I'm not super worried. He brings in Celebi. I'm faster than Celebi, and I have Hidden Power Bug. So I take out the Celebi. So this is like a great lead. This is like the best 8 turns I could have asked for in my first tournament game. So he pretty much thinks he's swept here, but he's faster with his Aerodactyl. So he does revenge me here. He with the Double Edge. So my response is to bring in Gengar, because Double Edge is normal, and normal can't touch ghosts. So... And I think I have HP Grass, so I can beat Swampert. And he has Zapdos, Aerodactyl, and Swampert revealed. So, of course, I Thunderbolt here. Free Thunderbolt, free damage. And then I go ahead and Ice Punch on his Zapdos, just because it's super effective. So it's going to knock it out instead of being just neutral. So his Zapdos goes away, and he brings back in Arrow, I'm pretty sure. Oh, he brings in his own Tyranitar. What do I do here? I think I HP Grass, just to get some damage on this thing, because I know this guy's going for the Dragon Dance. He's going to try to set up and reverse sweep me here. But I have a few ways out. You just can't really... You can't see him. But he does Rock Slide me and knocks me out. Nothing to really say here. He's max speed, max attack. So that means he should go down to anything. I bring in Metagross. I expect to live in Earthquake. My other option was Swampert. But my thought process was... I don't need this guy. I can actually explode on any of these 3 if he chooses the switch, which I don't know why he would. But I am EV'd to live 1/+1 Rock Slide no matter what. Or Earthquake, rather. So I do live the Earthquake in return. He is going to bring the Arrow in back to revenge me. This is a this is a really fast game. This is 18 turns. Most of the time, they're not that fast. So he does EQ me, knocks me out. And I bring in my own Swampert, and the reason I didn't bring in my own Swampert earlier against the Tyranitar, and maybe I should have, that was probably my biggest misplay, is I should have gone in the Swampert and roared instead. But I chose to keep him alive because I thought, oh, I could 1v1. And my last is Starmie, so I actually, Starmie almost always beats opposing Swampert. You notice I live on 1% here. This is a 25% roll for my opponent, so 1 out of every 4 times he knocks me out, but over 2 turns, naturally, because it's a 25% to 2-hit KO. So he did not get his 25%, and I surf him. I eat my Slack Berry, which increases my speed, so I'm automatically faster than my opponent. And then I knock him out, and that was game 1. And I'm feeling good. And I kind of brought some garbage this first game. I brought Smeargle in the lead. That's not normally a set or like a Pokemon a lot of people see. So I chose in the next turn to bring TSS, which is the meta. But I figured, yeah, I'm gonna bring Toxic Spike Sandstorm in the next turn. There was a little bit of luck here, but like I don't think I got robbed or he got robbed in any situation. I think maybe if his Skarmory hadn't been crit earlier, he could have done something. But I think that even, yeah, he could have also flinched. There's a lot of different variables. ADV is pretty random a lot of the times, but I think I definitely had ways out. I was ahead by 4 Pokemon in this game, so there was no way he was coming back. The second replay was the second game, so like I said, it's Tyranitar versus Tyranitar. The first, oh, by the way, you always got to nickname your Pokemon in Advanced because it's a metagame specific thing. There's a Freeze Eye video on it. Maybe I'll link it in the description of why you should nickname. My first set of nicknames were the localized JoJo names, so but this one is Hunter x Hunter, guys. So I'm a big anime loser, so obviously, like, he brings in his, he swaps out, which that means he's special Tyranitar, because a lot of the times on teams like him, he's not running Dragon Dance or Physical, or he would have just attacked me there. A lot of the time, Tar wants to attack other Tar just to get it out of the way, but he switched, so I know he's Pursuit or something, which I guess I didn't even consider. But I bring in my Swampert because I was afraid. And then he brings in Celebi, of course. I bring in Skarmory. This is an important turn because I notice he's got Celebi, Metagross, Tyranitar, and I'm thinking, well, he's got Magnezone, right? Like, Physical, like, Skarmory walls all 3 of these guys. So that means he has to have Magnezone, which always beats Skarmory. So I'm like, well, I'm going to switch to Scout. In my first thought process, because I was like, there's no way he doesn't have Mag. Obviously, here's the Mag. I bring back in my Tyranitar. I go for the Focus Punch to predict a switch. He brings back in Celebi, which, I don't know. But I actually go for HP Bug here, and he switches this time because he anticipates the HP Bug because I had it last game. So that's kind of how you have to use the game-to-game knowledge to determine what your opponents are going to do. So he scouts for HP Bug, and I have it, so he knows I have it now. But then I go to Swampert in response. Meteor Mash does 18. He's obviously not banded. He's leftovers, it says on the screen. So he can either explode or switch. I don't think he's going to explode. So I go ahead and switch back into Skarmory, and I'm like, well, now is the time. I'm going to set up my 1 Spike. The Magnezone's been revealed, or the Magneton's been revealed. Like, I can't really do anything about it. I do have like a 25% chance to live at 99%, so I was like, whatever, maybe I can get a second Spike. Magneton, what it does is it traps Skarmory in, so I can't escape. So I just have to eat this Thunderbolt, and I lose my guy, which, whatever. Bring back in Tar. I anticipate the Metagross this time, so I EQ instead of the Celebi, which it does 57. And from here, he's bulky attack, so that means that he actually does not KO me from full, but I, of course, take him down from here. So he opts to switch, even though I would have attacked. When he brings in Gyarados, drops my attack, I'm in, Earthquake immune. I go for Rock Slide, because I'm like, well, I don't want this thing to set up. He brings in Snorlax, then Snorlax, oh, I guess I don't. I bring in Gengar to Thunderbolt, because I figured, oh, there's no way. Looking at this guy's team, he does not have HP Ghost, because this is Pursuit Tar. So, Gengar beats Gyarados 1v1 in that scenario. So I was like, whatever. Of course, I didn't realize this guy was Pursuit until after this game. So like the post-com here, I should record during the game next time so I can speak out instead of just keeping all my thoughts in my head. But he brings in Tar, and I'm like, oh, I'm fucked. Especially because I missed my Will-O-Wisp here, which that's a little frustrating. It would have made it a little easier to chip his Tyranitar down, but not a big deal, I guess, in this grand scheme of things. But he goes ahead and pursues me, so I have to eat the Pursuit there. I bring back in my Tyranitar. I don't know what I predict here. Oh, I predict Celebi, but he stays in. He roars me out. I get into Starmie. Now, this is kind of when this game gets interesting, because Starmie actually can beat his entire team. except for Celebi, who's low. So I'm thinking, well, if I can get rid of Celebi, I can pretty much I can beat I have something for the rest of his team. So he anticipates the Hydro Pump or the Surf, which I do hit my Pump, which is nice. Now, looking back at this, maybe I should go ahead and damage calc this because I am interested to see if I could have beaten him. Because this isn't something I should have done during the game because I had lots of time when I was doing this. So make sure when you play games that you always calc. He's defensive. I don't know if he's CM. We'll make a utility. So Hydro Pump did 21. So he's probably around this set. Ice Beam does 40 to 48, and he's at 41. So, or 47. So I had a pretty overwhelmingly good chance to knock it. Well, not really. I probably had. Yeah, 47. Oh, my num lock's on. Yeah, I had a 20% chance to KO. So that was not enough. So I kind of sensed that when I was playing, and I didn't go for it, and I switched, and he goes for Leech Seed, which if I had Ice Beamed, I would have just probably won. So that's a fat L for me, but we keep it going. That's a mistake for sure. Misplay. Going to Blissey was bad. Blissey's not good against my opponent, really. I don't know why I did that. I don't know why I went into Tar and then why I went into Gengar. That was just, once again, just huge misplays. Should have gone into Swampert. I was keeping Swampert for no reason. He goes into Snorlax. I know he's going to explode. I go into my Tyranitar, which is like definitely a bad move. I should have gone into Blissey instead. Because I was like, oh, you know, Rock resists normal. I'm going to keep my Tyranitar around. But I needed his HP more than anything because now Metagross gets a free switch. So I pretty much just have to... I think I pretty much sacrificed my Tyranitar, which, I don't know. Not the greatest move I've ever done. But it does get, this game does get a little shisty. Because, of course, he brings his Magneton and I pump. That crit didn't matter, of course, because Starmie's crazy. Celebi comes back in. The Celebi always was going to be the problem for my team. Oh, my girlfriend just got home, so I'm going to have to pause the video as she comes and talks to me. So I will maybe, I'm on turn 20. Hello? All right, hold on. Okay, sorry that was a little scuffed. Like I said, my girlfriend came home from just driving, so I had to talk to her for a little bit. But anyway, back to the game. So anyway, Hydro Pump crits, and like I said, the Celebi is my biggest issue in this game. Obviously, I think it beats all three 1v1, so I kind of lose no matter what. But I bring back in Blissey just because, I don't know. I don't know what I think. I don't even know what I think I'm going to do here. Actually, I lied. Blissey does beat Celebi 1v1, so I was kind of keeping it to the end because I have Toxic. So this does force the Celebi out because I assume he's going to go... I don't know what I assume he's going to do. I don't really remember what happens here. Oh, yeah, he brings in his Tyranitar, and what do? Oh, yeah, I bring back in my Starmie. So, obviously, like, I'm in a good spot. He brings... His Celebi is always a free switch into this, which is, like, super frustrating. I can't really do anything about it, so I was like, well, dang. I just gotta keep switching back and forth until something happens, because I just can't do anything. So I think he brings in... What do I do here? I just toss. I was predicting the Metagross. I don't know what else I could even go for. Like I said, he's back at 96, so I'm in serious trouble. He brings in Metagross. I bring in Pert. This allows a free setup for his Gyarados, which I did not think about these last couple turns. Turn 32, obviously not a super long game, but certainly like longer than the last one. So I bring in my Starmie. This is an interesting turn because I have Thunderbolt, which obviously will one-hit KO this, and then that definitely opens up this game, right? Because after this guy, after Gyarados is gone, then it's Celebi versus the world basically, because all the rest of the guys beat all the rest of his guys. So I kind of need this one to like I need to Thunderbolt this guy. However, he crits his hidden power flying, ending the game. So the game could have ended differently. Because obviously he just beats these two 1v1. So the game could have ended differently had he not crit that, but more than likely he wins this, so I have no complaining to do. Anyway, that brings game 3. So game 3, I did not stick to my original plan. I had 3 teams picked out before this. And and this is not one of the teams I picked out before this, just because I was feeling a little shisty. This guy brought offense 2 times in a row, and I was like, well, what if he brings Toxic Spike Sandstorm, you know? So I was like, well, I better bring something that I at least perceive beats that. So I went ahead and brought Magneton offense, which is the same kind of team that he had last time. Interesting note about this guy, this is the first time my opponent has named Pokemon, which means that this is probably one of his actual tournament teams, because he probably anticipated not losing this first round of the tournament, so he just brought whatever, and now he's in the game 3, so he has to be serious. So Tyranitar Zapdos always runs, so I go ahead and he switches, which means once again special Tyranitar cannot hit my Zapdos, so once again I gotta focus on that. But I go ahead and Baton Pass, bring in my Snorlax. This time the nicknames are Subtronic album songs, so if you know Subtronics, Tuba Demon is one of his songs. I go ahead and curse. He scouts the Magneton. He's a good player, because obviously if you got Snorlax, you have Magneton. So he was like, oh shoot, I know. But then of course in this scenario, this is like not good for him, unless he has Fire Punch. And I'm like, there's no way this guy has Fire Punch. Like, they run Thunderbolt, Ice Punch, Wisp, Explosion, sometimes, you know, Hidden Power Grass, but Fire Punch is very rare on Gengar. So I was like, I'm not worried. I'm going to Thunder Wave this, slow this guy down. He goes ahead and brings in Celebi to absorb the Thunder Wave, because that's what he anticipates. And then I just go for Hidden Power Fire, because I have no, like, I don't need Magneton's HP. Like, this guy can do whatever. So he Leech Seeds me, and I go ahead and swap out, because I'm not for that free healing life. Neutral Hidden Power, which means Hidden Power Fire from the Celebi. So that would have done a lot of damage to Magneton. But I go ahead and Baton Pass into Hera. This is a very dangerous turn for him. He can't really do anything. So I just go ahead and Focus Punch here, because he's got to run from Hera, because you know. So I Focus Punch. He brings in Skarmory, and that does a clean 60%. So I went ahead and scouted for Drill Peck here, just in case. So I went back into Magneton, and he anticipates that, so he goes back into Gengar again. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to Thunder Wave into the Celebi again. So I was like, well, whatever. We're going to, like, this is the out we're going. So I go ahead and HP Fire again. He gets fully paralyzed, which is good for me. And obviously he can't stay in this turn, because if he gets full parried again, then he's cooked. He loses his Celebi, and he needs that. So he switches out back to Pert. I HP Fire, just because, like, you know, I was greedy and I wanted to win. But I go ahead and switch into Suicune, because I didn't really know this, but he's got a, this is Toxic Spike Sandstorm. Obviously, the Skarmory's the Spikes. Pert's got Toxic. Gengar might have Toxic. I don't know what his last is. I assume it's Blissey. But, either way, like, this guy is going to Toxic here. So I'm like, well, whatever. I'm going into Hera. Oh, I predict the Skarm, because I knew the Skarm was coming in. So I go to Hera, because I don't know what I just wanted to bring him in. I was like, fuck it, because he beats defensive Pert. I Focus Punch, knock out with the Skarmory, because he would have had Drill Peck. He would have used it earlier. He goes for his one Spike, which is the most important part of a Spikes team. I have Hidden Power Ghost, just for stupid Gengar. So I go ahead and snack that Thunderbolt and smash him with an HP Ghost. He takes 86%, kind of ruining his Gengar. Can't take any hits anymore, so that's, like, not great for him. He goes Arrow. I hit another HP Ghost. He could have potentially gone into Tar, and I could have also Focus Punch, and that would have been insane if I Focus Punched. But this is a good mid-ground for both of us. So he goes into, you know, Arrow, takes the Double Edge easy because I'm Steel type. So what you don't know about this Metagross is this Metagross is mixed. So he's got Thunder Punch, Earthquake, Hidden Power Grass. And if I was a real G, I'd have HP Grass here and knock this boy out. But I didn't. So what did I do after this? I think I switched, and for literally no reason. I guess I was just anticipating him to Protect, and I don't want to reveal HP Grass, because then I'll never get in that scenario again. And Metagross is great. Like, it's great against his team late game, because it beats Tar, it beats Gengar, it beats Celebi, it beats basically everybody but Arrow. So I was, like, feeling good. And, of course, huge sad play for my boy here, because he predicted Explosion, because he thought, oh man, I have no way of clearing Swampert, but I just go for the Curse. I was like, whatever, not worried about that. And then he goes to Gengar, I Earthquake, no, with no effect. So this is what I'm talking about. He saved this Gengar for the Swampert, or for my Snorlax. He gives me the Will-O-Wisp, but I was like, whatever, I just want this gone. So I Shadow Balled this. I already revealed Earthquake, so his only option really, oh, my bad. His only option is to bring in Celebi from here. And obviously he has no ghost types anymore, or Skarmory is gone. So that means I can just explode and take something with me. And if Tar switches in, then that's fine because I have so many options to beat Tyranitar. So I was like, whatever, I'm gonna blow up on this guy. So there goes Celebi. Fantastic. Biggest threat to my team. I bring in Magneton just to, because he loses 1v1 to all these guys. So I was like, well, I don't need this dude around anymore. But he switches into Swampert. I don't know why. I don't know why he did that, because he probably didn't want me to. He didn't want me to set up a Zapdos, I guess. But I go ahead and Toxic for the one time, and just to like sacrifice my Magneton. And so he overthought it and went to Swampert. So now his Swampert's Toxic, which means it's definitely like it's on a timer. So I don't really need to even worry about this guy. So I'll go ahead and rest here because I'm rest talk Suicune, which does 1v3 the rest of his team. So I actually just go ahead and just click Sleep Talk over and over. He switches into a Surf. Obviously a little unlucky for my opponent, but I wake up in 2 turns, so that happens inevitably. He forfeits, and I've won my first round. So now I move on past Hydreigon Latios rather. So while it's a double elimination tournament, I'll let you know if I end up winning. I probably won't bring these same teams again. I do have at least one more I have prepped, but I'm retiring this second one here. It's just not very good. At least it's just too standard, this Starmie Toxic Spike Sandstorm team. I think I might switch to one with Claydol. We'll have to see. But I'm a big fan. So I was also a big fan of this too. I assume my opponent next time will be hopefully not someone as well known as Hydreigon greater than Latias, but we'll have to see. I'm kind of relatively unknown myself, so. But thanks for going on this journey with me.